it's Anja here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are making a mitered granny square. Now the mitered means that the center of the square isn't in the center anymore, it's on the side. And if you make a lot of them for a blanket, for example, it creates a really nice effect if you place them all in the same direction, but also if you place them sort of with the centers together. So there's lots of possibilities for this square, but I just thought I would show you how I do mine. Now I have used quite different colors for this, so you can see really well what goes where. For the square we are making today, I have chosen clematis, magenta, Lincoln and cream. Okay. The other thing you will need is your 3.5 or your 4, whichever you use for the Stylecraft Special DK, because that is the yarn we are using today. Also your darning needle, your scissors, and I have here my cup of tea. Yep, not compulsory, but recommended. Okay, so let's get started with the color you want to get started with. Obviously you can make this in any color. You know, I'm just using this, like I said, so you have the idea of how it works and you can see what colors I am using where. So I've done my slip stitch and a chain 4, just as normal with a granny square. We are going to get started by doing a slip stitch, and then you have your little circle here, 2 chains, and we are going to do another 2 double crochets into the circle, because that chain 2 counts as my first double crochet. I chain 2, you might be chaining 3 depending on your tension. Then chain 2 and we make another cluster of 3 double crochets. There we go. 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and yet again another cluster. 1, 2 and 3 double crochets, chain 2, and once again another cluster. There we go. Now we have 4 clusters. We chain 2 and we are going to finish the round by looking at the 2 chains that we did to start with, skipping those, going for the 3rd V or the 3rd chain that you see there, and you slip stitch into there, and that finishes our little circle, our little middle. There we go, and that's the first round done. Then we move over to the magenta, I don't know how to pronounce it. I do a slip knot, I insert my hook, tighten up the slip knot, and I get started in one of the corner spaces as if I was already crocheting. So I generally choose the corner space where I just finished, and I go back and I yarn over, insert, and I do my 3 double crochets. This will come undone a little bit, but just pull it, 2 chains, and you do another lot of 3 double crochets. Basically we are just doing the second round of a granny square, right? So here we have the next corner that we are making, 2 clusters of 3 double crochets with 2 chains in between. Okay, and we continue on the other side. We are going to do 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and another 3 double crochets. So the first and the second row are the same as a normal granny square. I would also recommend, if you were making lots for a blanket, to do these two to start with. Okay, so work out how many squares you need and do these centers to start with for all of your squares. The reason being is, in a moment you have to sort of change your technique a little bit, and if you've done the no thinking part already, then you know you've done it, and then you know that you're doing the thinking part all the time. Do you know what I mean? Do you see? Do you think that makes sense? I think it makes sense, because then you know that you're always doing the same thing. Okay, so I have rolled up this yarn, and it seems, I rolled it up really well. Okay, I couldn't find the beginning then. Right, so now we have finished here, and that's fine. We're just going to leave it at that. Now we are going to do the same thing again. I always start with a standing stitch, I call them. So this is my slip knot, and I am going to get crocheting like so. Now I am going to get started in a corner, and I am going to yarn over and do a double crochet. I'm going to do another one and another one. Okay, and that's it for that corner. Now I'm going to do a cluster on the side. So I'm going to do that. So 3 double crochets. And then I'm going to here do a normal corner. So 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and 3 double crochets. There we go. And same thing here. On the side, we do a side of just a cluster. Now we get to the second corner, and here, like before, we are going to do just the 3 double crochets. So we start here with just 3 double crochets. You do your normal corner, and then here you also finish with 3 double crochets. Now we are going to turn. So you yarn over and you do 2 or 3 chains depending on what you normally do. But yeah, 3 chains, then you turn, and then you are going to start doing your clusters in between the clusters from the previous round. So we've turned and we are starting again. There we go. Now a corner. A normal corner, so 2 clusters of 3 double crochets and 2 chains in between them. Right, there we are. So we've turned. Now another side cluster. And another side cluster. And now we sort of have to finish here, because obviously otherwise we're finishing into nothing. So what I do is, on top of here into that standing stitch, I try to get into it, and I do just a double crochet on its own, and that's that round completed. Okay, so I just pull out the end. There we go. So you start with 3 double crochets, and you do your sides as usual with ending in a 3 double crochet. Then you do your chain up, and then you work your way back, and you finish with your chain up, or what looks like a chain up. Okay, And now we are going to go for a whole round of cream. So we're just going to finish the square as we normally do. And that's when you will properly see the effect. Now I like to start in a corner, so it's always good to do so. Here, for instance, you have to make a corner. This is where we finished, so it sort of makes sense to start there. Yarn over, insert, hold on to your ends. Oh, let's do this again. Yeah. Okay, it turned round, so let's just gently pull it so we have our yarn over again. There we go. There we are. Okay. And to be honest, we could pull it down like that and do our corner straight away here. So we are doing, to start with, the cluster of 3 double crochets, then 2 chains, and then another 3 double crochets, right? So we've already done a nice corner there. Now we are going to do the clusters on the side, and that means just doing clusters of 3 double crochets and traveling along the side each time. And I've got a knot in my yarn, as there would be, of course. Each time doing 3 double crochets in the next available space. This is a corner, so we make a corner there. 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and 3 double crochets. There we go. Okay, and now we are back to doing the side. Clusters in between the clusters from the previous round. Again, here we have a corner. It's that funny corner from our turn earlier, but that's okay. We do 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and 3 double crochets. Now, this is a little bit unusual here because, of course, it looks different, but we know we have to do 2 clusters. And if you think this is one cluster, then this is just going to be the location for one cluster. So just where the green and the magenta meet, Lincoln and magenta meet, you just do your cluster. Okay, so you just make sure that you are doing the same as what you would normally for your normal granny square when you get to that to that situation there. And here we are doing another corner. There we go. See? So we are getting there. And of course I've got another yarn problem here. Okay. So, if you like my videos, please can you like them and can you share them? That would be great if you would share this with your crochet friends, because I would really love to reach more people, more subscribers, and if they then come to my channel and they subscribe, that would be really great. If you are new, please do go ahead and subscribe, and if you are already a long time Ophelia fan, then I would like to thank you for watching as well. So here we are. I am at the end of my row here. I am here where I'm going to do my slip stitch. As usual, this one closes up for me, so I go under there, under the next one, and I do my slip stitch. So there we have it. all you have to do now, of course, is sew in your ends. And yes, like I said, if you are making this for a bigger project, do try and make those first and then do this round sort of, you know, as all together, then you know that you're doing it, because very often you'll just go round. That's what I found anyway. So I was doing this and all of a sudden I thought, no, I have to go back halfway, because you're so used to doing your granny squares. It's a good tip to do these first and then do the 2 rounds that you are going to keep together. Now also, if you wanted to, you can make this even bigger. You can make another one here and another one and then do your overall round. So it's up to you, but this is a technique where I found it easiest to start with the 3, finish with the 3, start with a 1 and finish with a 1. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!